Well, hello. So this will be my third video. What, two this week or all three were this week? I don't remember, but I said I wanted to be on here more, so not a lot to report. I had a few bad days where I didn't feel like exercising because I had a migraine headache or I was just in a lot of pain. But anyway, I did some stretching today. Yesterday, I got out of the house and walked around. That counts as exercise. Um, my daughter came and did my nails. I'm doing better with chasing the negative thoughts out of my mind and self-defeating thoughts. Some people just don't understand what that means exactly. And I have struggled trying to explain it to people because people have asked me, well, how do you make a bad thought go away and to keep it from coming back? And my answer is as soon as I hear it, see it, feel it, I refuse to accept it. And then I replace it. Like if I hear myself saying that you're just getting fat and old and whatever. I have these thoughts. I have thoughts of nobody's ever going to love you again because you're not young and beautiful like you used to be. And who's going to want an old lady who's gotten herself in debt and who's had failed businesses, the garbage that can go through your mind. Yes, I've gained weight, but I'm not ugly. And I have to always remind myself that it's not the outer that is important. It is the inner. And my inner is not ugly. It is much more beautiful than I give myself credit for. Just like a lot of you, you just don't realize how beautiful you are to others. And it's not what we see physically, it's what we see inside of you. Same goes for us, and we never give ourselves credit for that. So when I hear those negative thoughts, I say to myself, like if I hear myself saying you're fat and ugly and old, I'm like, you're only 56. There are people in their 80s bodybuilding, doing stuff with their lives. And it's not that I'm too old to make changes, especially physical, my body, and also inner. I've been working on my inner stuff for a very long time, and this divorce kind of threw me for a loop, and I stopped working on myself, and I forgot who I was, and I told you guys I was going to add more things. Each video, I'll just start adding more things. The divorce really, really, really kicked my butt. I beat the crap out of myself. I took all the blame, even though it takes two people to mess up a relationship. My relationship was already damaged and already suffering. And then at the end, it was me who brought it to a place where it could be over. And it finally was over. And I immediately regretted it, and I immediately changed my mind, and I thought, I don't want this. It's not really what I want. But it was too late, and my ex got out of the house, and he wasn't coming back, which really, 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 really damaged me because I already have problems with how I feel about myself, and for him to not care enough to come back and try to fix our relationship, 25-year marriage, made me feel like I was nothing. I wasn't worth trying for. I wasn't a good person. All the yucky garbage that comes with feeling rejected and unwanted and unloved. So it took me several years before I could look at the whole picture, not just what I think was all my fault. I take full responsibility for everything I did. I'm embarrassed about some of the things I did. I have shame about some of the things I did. I've got guilt about everything, everything that I ever did in my life that was bad or negative. Because that's the other thing that happened. The divorce, um, like, broke me completely open, and I could no longer ignore, anything about myself. Everything that I had ever done in my entire life, it was like I died. And, your life flashes before your eyes. Well, that's what happened. The life I was living was over. That person I was dead. And everybody and everything I knew was no longer the same. Everything ended, like ended. No more, 5 o'clock means dad's coming home. No more what's for dinner. No more, what are we going to do this weekend? No more, let's just snuggle and watch TV. No more kids coming and going. Yeah, the kids moved out. I mean, I had 2 here when it happened, but Andre moved out pretty fast. And anyway, yeah. There's a lot to this. A lot of people don't understand that divorce after 25 years, it's not like a divorce after 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. A divorce after 25 years is very, not that those are not hard for people. They are. Those other time frames are hard too. But 25 years, think about it. A big giant chunk of my life. Big giant chunk of my life. I raised kids. I was a wife. I had things I did that I was comfortable with doing. I had no fears about my future because I knew we were going to grow old together and, be goofballs together. And, well, I think I thought I knew. And then I don't know what happened to me. It was like I got possessed or something, and my guard came down, and suddenly I felt like I was possessed, because I started doing things that didn't make sense to me, didn't make sense to my kids, didn't make sense to my ex. It was just a bad situation all the way around. I'd lost who I was, and then when he finally moved out and the divorce started, I didn't know who I was anymore. Like, I had no clue who I was anymore because nothing that I was used to, my normal life was no more here. No more normal. I'm trying to say was no longer normal. Now I had to find a new normal, which I'm still working on. It's been 8 years. It was a very traumatic experience for me. So I have been missing for a very long time. A lot of things happened, and not all bad. I grew up. All the things that came flooding in of, my whole life and the things I've done to people and myself and stupid things I did and things I did when I was clueless and didn't understand what I was doing. Everything flooded in, everything. And it's real easy to tell someone to forgive themselves. It's very difficult to do. At least for me, it has been very difficult to do. And that's another thing, telling someone to forgive themselves. I've had people ask, well, how do you do that? How do you do that? It's a good question. How do you do that? Well, you stop beating yourself up is one thing, and you accept who you are and the things you did, and focus on the good, which is hard to do when you're beating yourself up and you're deeply depressed and you're grieving. There was no way I could do it. I was too in the dark, I guess. I was in what they call the dark night of the soul. I was seeing every single part of who I am. And then I decided somewhere along the way that person sucked, which she didn't. But I decided that the old me was horrible and immature, which I was immature in a lot of things. I was the only thing I can say that makes a tiny bit okay, is I have to remind myself that while I may have done some things that hurt other people and hurt myself, and some people don't like this. They're like, well, does it matter? Well, it matters to me, okay? Because I never, anytime I hurt anyone, it was never on purpose, okay? I was being an idiot. That's no excuse. I get that. I was being stupid and selfish and immature. But the one thing I can say is that I have never had a malicious heart. I've never been a revengeful person. So all the things that have happened in my life were me just being an idiot and being selfish and not paying attention to the present. And I am not that person anymore. I used to walk around with a chip on my shoulder all the time. I feel bad for my ex. I mean, I can never apologize to him enough for the things I did. Now, I'm not getting the same from him because, he's already moved on and got married. And he said that we spent half our lives together. We'd always be friends. But when I try to talk to him, I don't get very much feedback. So I don't really talk to him that much. And if I do, it's not to get anything back from him. It's to apologize for things that I realized were hurtful. And things are still coming to me that I did during our relationship. And I reach out to him and I tell him, I am so sorry for whatever, and that you deserved better, because he did. And I did too. I deserve better than what he put me through and the things that he was neglectful about. He's not a bad person. I don't hate him. I am a little upset I'm very upset, but we're not going to go there because we're not going to put energy into that. I have learned how to stand on my own, and I don't like it, but I've learned to stand up without a guy next to me, or a partner, I should say. I like men, so I will say a guy because I've never had a relationship with a woman, so I'm talking about a guy. I don't know, I just felt like I had to clarify that for some reason. It doesn't matter. I am very okay with you love who you love, okay? Anyway, that's not my business who you love. Who I love are men. But anyway, I'm a different person today. And now I am like building on to who I really am at the core, because now I know who I am at the core. I'm not those things I was living before. Yes, I am a very kind, sweet, loving, giving. I'll do anything for anyone, in need. I am that person, and those things will never go away. But today I am adding to that. I no longer walk around with a chip on my shoulder. I no longer have outbursts of, how could you do that to me? It's not all about me. And I have a very wounded inner child, very, very wounded. And I was abandoned in a lot of ways emotionally. So my inner child, and that's another thing people don't understand. And it's hard to explain the inner child part. Except for maybe today I don't do a lot of Facebook, but lately I've been trying to get on there a little bit more because I am trying to be online more. Somebody posted something about in Canada, they have swings for adults to sit on while they wait for the bus. To me, right there is a perfect example of what an inner child is, because fun-loving adult sees a swing, I want to get on it, and how much that to me, that is awesome, because it shows that they are not ignoring the inner child of adults, because we never lose the inner child. That little baby's still in there. So anyway, that's enough. Okay, we're going to stop now because we're at 14 minutes, and I, again, do not know how long my videos can be. So anyway, I touched on some divorce stuff. I am stretching and then getting in the shower. I'm stretching my hips because my hips and my lower back are what hurt the most right now. The weather is cooling down a little bit, which means I hurt a little more because my body changes the pain levels change with the barometric pressure, so temperature and all that stuff outside affects my body. So, anywho, I need to get I know everybody uses their phones for everything, but it feels weird because I can't look straight at the camera because it feels weird. Okay, well, thanks for watching if you watched this far, and I will see you in a couple days and give you an update on what's happening here. Okay? I love you all. I care about you all, and I would love to hear from some of you. If you have questions about things I brought up and didn't finish talking about, I am all over the place, and I'm trying. This is part of me trying to get back on a path. So ask questions. Let me know what you're going through too. I love you all. Mwah. Bye.